Welcome
Welcome to
to
Shade
Shade
in
in
the
the
City.
City.
I am Treese,
It's Nels.
and we are getting into our review of Real Housewives of Dubai, episode 2, y'all. City of Goals. So please make sure that as you're coming in that you hit that like button
And the subscribe button.
and let's get into it. And it's just starting off. We ain't got that much to, head off with.
Shady about.
Right. But I'm sure during this episode we'll have a lot to be shady about. So let's get into it. Let's get shady. So we start off this episode. We see Sarah making a cake with her son. I believe I can't ever get his name. Her son. And unfortunately, we'll I promise you we'll get it by the end of the season. But we see her making a cake with her son. She asks her son whether she can cook, and he says, no, but you make really great iced tea. And I said, well, and she tells him that he'll always want to make sure that she's happy, being that she pays his allowance. So therefore, I think you need to give mommy a little bit more compliments. She also asked him, is cooking for men or women? And he says both. So she's clearly raising him right, is what I have in my notes.
That there's no gender roles. And she says that in the Arab world, they promote toxic masculinity. And she ain't raising her son that way.
Right. She basically believes that she parents a lot different than her ex-husband. Mm-hmm. And says that being a single mom since day one, she believes that, as Chanel said, that they would promote toxic masculinity to her son based off their cultural beliefs, and she wants her son to know better. So I said, kudos, girl. And then I thought it was cute. She tries to teach him to, I guess, eat traditionally off the floor, and he is not here for it. He was like, no, mom, I really just want to go back to the table. This is weird as shit. Mm-hmm. Mom, why are we eating on the floor? I feel like
I think he still even had an issue like with eating with his hands. She was trying to show him how to eat with his hands, and he was like, no. Why are you doing this? And she says that was her traditional upbringing, and she wants him to,
pass that on to his own children one day, and he is not interested. He's interested in the fork and the silverware of it all. So
what I thought was dope was they called his grandfather to show that he baked the cake, and the fact that she said that in the Arab world, they promote toxic masculinity, and the grandfather was still like cool with the fact that he baked the cake, and he's just like, hey, like that's a great job. And I just thought it was dope because
I thought it was cute too. But she also said her parents were very open-minded. They knew when they had her, she was a rebel. She was different. And so I think by raising her and her being so out of the cultural norm and pushing like that, her raising her son like that, by now they probably embrace it.
Yeah.
Now we get to Brooks, who's meeting with Lisa. They toast because they're having a mommy's night out. Okay.
Very important.
Right. Lisa talks about how she missed their little kikis. She said it's been so long. And, she said she hasn't, basically Lisa and Brooks have known each other since she's been pregnant with Max, which I believe is her oldest. They believe their close connection comes from their Caribbean connection because Brooke says that her grandmother is 100% Jamaican. Then they cut to Lisa in the confessional. And I feel like Lisa, this is the thing I love about Lisa. I don't even feel like she's trying to be shady. I think she's being honest. And that's the shadiest of it all. So she said that every week Brooks is something different. One week she's Afro-Latina, the next week she's Jamaican, and then she said the following week she'll be Emirati. So maybe Brooks needs to do an ancestry.com.
And she says that she thinks she has multiple personality syndrome.
Brooks needs,
And she was wondering if it's a real thing. It is actually a real thing.
Brooks clearly needs to do her ancestry DNA. That's all I'm saying. Brooks has something. Brooks has something to say about Nina posting a picture about being besties with Stansbury. They talk about how Nina had a lot to say when Stansbury tried to befriend Lisa, and that basically she talked a lot of SHIT. And now she's climbing, and now she's, basically claiming to be best friends with Stansbury. And she was like, I don't understand, because you was just talking junk. Lisa says that she says so many foul things about Stansbury that she will not repeat them. However, she did go on to say that she did say that Stansbury was ghetto, she's trashy, and those were the good things that Nina said. So now that they out there the story, and basically she says that, they've had she asked about her relationship with Ayan and her and, Brooks be in a good place. And she said, they're fine. She's used to this. Apparently their relationship is very up and down, and they always manage to kiss and make up. So I was like, okay, well, we know the dynamic between that. I'm still confused about why Nina's so gung-ho about Stansbury if she don't really like her, but I guess we'll find out.
Comes by Caroline's house, and I believe it's Stansbury, Caroline.
Okay, yeah, I do believe it's Stansbury.
And she is playing with her cute little dogs. She has got the cutest little fur baby.
And apparently she has one for every person she invites over. You get a dog, you get a dog, you get a dog. I was like, where? I thought they were bringing their dogs over, and then I realized she was handing them to them as they were coming in, and I was like, she got that many damn dogs?
Yeah, apparently. Now, she says she's building her dream home in, I believe it's Albarari, but I could be pronouncing this wrong, which is where she says she's always lived, and she loves it there. Now, she says it's hard for you to get a mortgage there when you're self-employed, and you have to put down 30 to 40% down cash when you're self-employed. I said, ooh. So she says it's not all that easy to buy a house in Dubai, but I mean, you're expected to have money to live there. So I guess. She says she has a podcast and she's showing off her merch on her cup.
It was Divorced Not Dead was the name of the podcast, I believe.
Yes, Divorced Not Dead. I thought that was cute.
I did.
And then
like
she got
that.
the little cups. I thought, okay. It was cute. So she explains that getting a divorce in that country is super difficult. And she says being a single mom, raising your children in a country as foreign as that takes a certain type of hustle. Okay. Basically that all of them were not left in a golden cage with huge pots of money. That type of stuff just does not happen. She also says since she's been there, she's been about her energy and brings up the other nights when the energy was just completely off. Now, Brooke says she was blindsided at the dinner because she felt like Ayan came at her, kind of sideways. And she was shocked because she says she feels like she's never been anything but a great friend to her. And, she has a beautiful heart, and that really hurt her for her to behave in that way. Now, Miss Life Coach over here, Sarah, says that she feels that she was triggered from a past trauma. I thought we delving deep, ain't we? Sarah basically said, I'm a life coach and I do this. I know what I'm talking about and I'm healed. Okay. Now, I like what Sarah said. She says, I think we should not leave her. I think we should leave her better than we found her. And Stansbury says, no, I really don't need to accept her time or her energy. I'm very sorry if she had trouble in her life, but she's not going to add to mine. I said, she meets up with Nina and she tells her,
she's telling herself how good she looks. As she's waiting for Nina to arrive at the restaurant, she's telling herself how good she looks.
feel like we've seen this plenty of times. She's always telling herself how good she looks.
Talk about high self-esteem. I ain't mad at her. Damn.
And Nina tells her also that she looks great. Like she just came off the runway. Apparently she did.
Came off Givenchy.
Right. And Nina says, clearly I didn't get the memo because I can't.
She said, I just came ready for lunch. And she
exactly casual as hell. And she's, but Ayan says, she's used to her looking like this. Ayan says she is like Rihanna and Nina is like plain mashed potatoes with no butter. I said,
well, damn, Ayan.
So Nina asked her what she's doing for Thanksgiving. And she tells her that her husband and son are going to Lisa's house.
Nina is going to Blue Water to have dinner, which apparently we'll get into that, but it's a whole experience.
She says that Thanksgiving is not really a celebrated holiday there, but to her, it's like Christmas. It's her favorite holiday growing up in the US. And Ayan says Thanksgiving is a weird story. She's from Africa. So they've had a lot of colonizers that weren't supposed to be there. So she said she don't really want to get into it. I said, well, I mean, tell them what Thanksgiving is really about.
Right. Tell them the history, girl.
Right. So Ayan is ready to jump right into the dinner drama. So Ayan talks about Stansbury, who just kept on saying that she didn't like her. And, she apologizes for the way she acted at the dinner, but
it triggered her.
Yeah, it triggered her. And she came at Nina for not standing up to her. And
Nina's like, what did you want me to do? I was here with my crystals and my sage. What more did you want me to do?
I was here to help with my sage. I did my part, lady.
Right. I didn't realize till after that the sage didn't work.
Nina says that Stansbury came to her and says, I thought we were cool, but apparently not, because Ayan came in guns blazing. Why I gotta come in guns blazing? Because I'm from Somalia? Now, I actually understood why she said that, because she doesn't understand some of the English terms. Remember, she said something
well, damn.
It was
I didn't catch that, but I'm like, damn, did it have to be like that? But I guess if you don't understand the English, like the terminology,
she feels, they carry guns, and she's like, why I gotta be coming in guns blazing? Is it because I'm from Somalia?
That's crazy. I definitely didn't get that.
So, she said, no, it has nothing to do with where you're from. It's
trying to offend you. No,
exactly. It's just an expression.
Well, damn.
And she says, you know me. And you discussed the relationship I had, we discussed the relationship I had with my dad and the sadness behind it. And basically she explains that, she feels like it was a trigger for her because she felt left out, she felt unwanted, and apparently this is something that was caused by her father. And really, Ayan just feels like it could be a conversation with Stansbury, and Stansbury may be able to understand if they sit down and have a conversation. But in a confessional, Ayan feels like Nina is a flip-flopper. And she said a skyscraper climbing the fucking sky. She feels like she's giving out enough chances. So I don't know if Ayan is actually willing to do that, but this is what Nina feels like needs to be done.
And she need to buy some new sage. So we see everybody getting prepared for their upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. Now, Stansbury has taken Sergio jewelry shopping with her and decides she's going to spend $6 million on the necklace.
Did she actually buy that necklace?
I think she did.
I know she was trying it on.
Sergio's over here about to cry, probably because he's like, that could be my $6 million, but I'm going to stay in for at least 6 years.
So, you think that's why he was crying?
I don't know. We see Lisa grocery shopping, and we learned that pork is located in a totally separate part of the supermarket, which I'm going to be honest with y'all. I would have believed that there was no pork at all.
Me too.
So she gets on FaceTime in the grocery store with Nina. Nina tells her that she feels like there's a lot of unresolved issues between Stansbury and Ayan, while her son sits and eats pretty much a whole damn thing of Oreos that she left him with. It was supposed to be quick. He was only supposed to eat one, but she sat on the phone so long, and I can understand that because I'm the person that gets on the phone while I'm shopping because I don't like shopping, and end up getting distracted. So that's exactly what happened, and I hope the poor baby ain't got a stomach ache later. And then we also see that she spent $1,600 in the grocery store.
Oh, see, I said 13. I thought it was 1,300.
All I know is that's a lot of money in the grocery store. My budget.
A holiday or not.
Right. We do see Lisa preparing her Thanksgiving meal on her own. Kudos to you. And she says that that's something that she really enjoys. She could have hired a caterer, but preparing food for her family is, and clearly, she's going to have the rice and peas, the jerk turkey. I said, yes, girl, keep it authentic and organic. Yes. Now, we see Sarah and her family, and they are literally, I guess this is what I was telling y'all about the blue water. They are literally having their Thanksgiving dinner in the sky. So it looks like.
You mean Nina? Nina.
Oh, Nina. What did I say, Lisa? I'm sorry. We meant
Sarah.
Nina was hosting her Thanksgiving dinner in the sky, and Sarah was there with her son. We meet wonderful Nina's husband while we're there, but she talks about how Thanksgiving for her is such a special time because it was something with her aunt. We learned that, she moved from Lebanon and actually learned English from watching All My Children.
I thought of you when I saw that.
We learned that her husband did not have this type of money when they met. He was a banker and went on to be a hotelier and then sell those buildings and get into cryptocurrency, which is
Bitcoins, yeah.
Right, which is where he is today. And she said that he literally, they met through, I think it was like a mutual friend or something like that. He saw her picture and then he started flying to see her.
Let me tell you something. That's a man who knew what he wanted.
Right.
Okay. He saw her picture, said, get me in touch with her, got in touch and was flying like every other week or
something like that to see her. And basically she says that she's been with him from the jump and they've built a life together from the ground up. And she said at one point when they were together, she was working 4 jobs because she's a hustler. And I said, okay. And I just thought it was a beautiful love story because I think that we automatically assume like, oh, she got with him because he was rich and they just live off them. So I thought that was dope.
I thought it was dope that he was flying back and forth and he didn't even have to bread like that.
Right.
I mean, sacrifice.
Right. We do. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I got to fly, y'all. We learn about Sarah's 2 divorces. Sarah lets us know in the confessional that her parents really aren't concerned about her falling in love again and getting married. It's the stigma that comes with divorce and how she might be viewed in Dubai.
So Ayan arrives at Lisa's house with a goat in hand, little baby goat. And Lisa's like, what the hell is that? And I think it was Lisa's husband that said, you should never bring a goat to a Jamaican household.
And Lisa even talks about how if this was in Jamaica, that would have been in somebody's pan.
Yeah, she said
pot, he would have been curried, jerked, something. He would have been eaten.
Yeah, she said they would have managed watered it, goat souped it, or curried it. And Ayan explains that she brought her the goat because in Kenya, if somebody shows you love and you invite, their family to your home, you give them something special. And in her culture, goats are special.
And we've seen
they give it like when you get married or get engaged. Yeah. I actually feel like we saw an episode of.
I was gonna say we've seen that on 90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance where they got a goat. I was like, oh, like when she said that, I was like, that was super dope. That was super duper dope. And
I thought it was crazy until she Tushy, and I was like, that is true. And I was like, that's dope that you value, because goats really are valued highly over there. So I thought
it was, and Lisa thought it was dope as well. Ayan says Lisa is a rider. Okay, she loved her some Lisa,
and she gonna stick beside her.
She gonna stick beside her. Okay. Ayan says, Lisa, how do you do this? Like, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, a boss lady, best mother on the planet, and you cook like this? Like, homeboy, you lucky. He's like, I know.
Look, he's like, that's what my name is, Rich, because I'm rich in all aspects of life. Okay. Ayan says that she met her husband, or she has been with her husband since 1999. She was introduced by her sister. The goat then falls into the pool.
So did it jump? This is a weird ass goat.
I don't know, but he jumps into the pool and apparently can't swim. So they have to save the goat. And then Ayan brings up the lunch with Nina and how she felt some type of way about her saying she didn't want to choose sides. Lisa says that she's surprised because Nina is closer to Ayan than she is Stansbury. She says she's not interested in sitting down with Stansbury. She feels like something's wrong with her. She's not happy for her. She doesn't support her. And so and she said, and that's on mother period dot. I said, okay, Ayan, yes. Then they realize the goat is missing. So they believe that the goat has escaped out of the fence. And Ayan says, well, I brought the goat. I've washed my hands of him. I said, that's like, parents, hear me out. If you have never dealt with people buying your children that you don't want in your house, or as little pieces or things like that.
And is this shade?
Yes. And then they buy them, not just to you. And then they buy them anyway. And then you're the person that has to sit in your house and they wash their hands clean of it while your kid makes a whole mess. That is what Ayan did. I'm just telling you.
So guess what?
I broke it down on a poor man's level because we don't all live in Dubai. We can't all give goats.
Yes. Guess what though?
What?
What did your kid like it?
That's not the point.
Was it for your kid and not for you? Did your kid enjoy?
Does my kid clean up? But does my kid clean up? Is the point.
That's not the point.
That is the point.
The point is to celebrate him and he enjoyed it.
Right, you ask.
Well, we are at Sarah's house and she is talking to her son, asking him whether he likes his new hair color or not. And he tells her that he ruined it. I mean, she ruined it. Apparently, he used to be blonde and she feels like it is now, proportioned to his face. It's a darker color now, but he's disappointed. She tells him he is basically an old man and not a kid. He is kind of grown for his age. He speaks very well. He's a little old man. So Ayan comes by Sarah's and I thought this was dope. She brings a gift. And it's a basket of onions. And she tells her that she has a lot of layers. So she brought her onions.
Oh, that was cute.
Yes. And she says in her village, you don't go to someone's home.
Don't bring me nothing domesticated. Bring me the Givenchy, the Cartier. Don't bring me nothing domesticated. Go ahead.
She tells her in her village, you don't go to someone's home without bringing them a gift. It's awkward. But I feel like it's dope that she's bringing these type of gifts because these women can buy, of course she can buy onions too, but it's like thoughtful. They can go buy their self Givenchy or whatever. I'm sure they have closets full of it. So it really wouldn't mean as much as it would like to me or you. Somebody brings you onions talking about because you have a lot of layers. I think that was kind of cute. You're not feeling it? No.
I would have peeled back that Yves Saint Laurent. I would have peeled back that Cartier. Okay.
So stupid.
That had a lot of layers to it.
So she thanks her for inviting her over, and she feels, every time that they've met, they have some type of connection. And Sarah agrees. She, she feels like they on the same energy. She tells Sarah that she knows she's a businesswoman, but she wants to know more about her. Sarah says she had a great childhood. Her parents have always told her.
Can I just say I love how Sarah was so open?
Yeah, she was super open.
I don't think when you say tell me about yourself, people just go in like that. And
It was like nothing.
I do, but that's when people be like, bitch, I just wanted to know where you're from and I got a but that's what I'm saying. That's not normal. You have to be a really open person to be that way. And I just thought it was super dope for her to just be like, yeah, no, this is me. Good, bad, ugly. I thought that was dope.
Yeah. So she tells her that she had a great childhood. Her parents have always known that, she was a little bit of a troublemaker and, had her own philosophies. Apparently, by the age of 5, she was buying candy and reselling it to her cousins. So she was a little young entrepreneur.
Yeah.
She says when she was 15, she started her first business, and she feels like she's never really lived like a real full childhood. So she feels like that's why she's playful. Ayan says they're basically the same. She's always been an entrepreneur, and she's always known how to sell things. She says my dad would give us everything in our village, and says that they lived really good. But suddenly one day he decided he didn't want to be a dad anymore and just packed up and left. Oh my God. So she says her mom was uneducated and was an orphan. And
orphan.
What I say?
You said orphan.
Was an orphan. Left by herself with kids. So she said she started to help her mom. At like 8 or 9 years old, she would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, crossing the river to buy bananas and pineapples and put it in the truck. Now, she says she still hasn't forgiven her father, and she hasn't spoken to him in 26 years. She still has no plans to. She feels like this is, it's what he's done is unforgivable.
And she says it's very hard to forgive. Yeah.
Apparently, he was trying to marry her off at 14.
And he told her the one that stopped her because he tried to make her just pack her bags like you going with daddy.
Yeah, like, come on, you come with me. And she said she was actually going to do it. But her older sister says, no, don't go with him. He's going to try to marry you off. And she says at 7, she went to play in the river and it was raining. And he got really upset and tied her to a tree. He is super emotional. It made me super emotional. She says he beat her entire life.
Last.
You said what?
I think she was the way that I interpreted in Shade Squad. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that like button
and subscribe.
But if I'm not mistaken, I feel like she said something about the fact that I think she was the last, so she felt like it seems like he didn't treat any of his other kids. Mm-hmm. And so she felt like, am I the reason why he decided he didn't want to be a father anymore? Like he started to act like this when I came into play, which makes me think she's on the younger side. Like they didn't have,
which is weird because normally in most families,
that's what I'm saying,
is the favorite.
So that's why she has an issue with like, was it me that split my parents up? Was it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. She says that he beat her entire life. So she's always looked at herself like the problem and the reason why he didn't love her. He says that he beat her so bad that her and her other sister ran away. And she talks about her husband and how her husband adores her and makes her feel safe and gave her everything that her father never could. And they bring up the dinner, and she does say that she felt like that was a trigger for her. And Sarah suggests hypnotherapy. Apparently, this is something she does. And she asked what her session was like. How does this help you? And she expresses that she was married twice in disastrous marriages. she always chooses the wrong partners because she will do anything to be loved. She says in her relationship, she had been physically abused, mentally abused, and she knows what it feels like to be in a dark place. She says she came out of that very angry and carried it with her for years. And it used to trigger her very easily. And she says, when you're triggered, you bleed onto people that didn't cut you.
That's a word.
When she said that, I said, ooh. She says that she's going to introduce her to her hypnotherapist. And Ayan says it makes her feel like there's a light, at the out there at the end of the tunnel. So it sounds like Ayan is willing to do this. She's willing to get the help, and I hope she does, because this is a long time to carry that, even if she doesn't want to talk to her father or necessarily forgive him.
Right.
It would be great if she could do it for herself. But like they say,
forgiveness is for you. It's not for them.
Exactly.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys,
for tuning in to another review of the Real Housewives of
Dubai.
Please make sure that you like,
you comment,
you subscribe,
and hit the notification bell.
And we will catch you in a couple days, because we know this is a little late, guys. So we will blame her. So we will catch you next time, and she better not file a workers' comp claim. And next time for another review of Real Housewives of Dubai. You guys have a good night.
Mwah. Good night.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe.